She's 6 years old and she's watching two men commit a crime they think no one will ever know about. Through the crack in the door, Cynthia sees the blue folders. Gold letters catching the light. The men talk in low voices. Then their hands move. Left becomes right. Right becomes left. Her purple crayon stops mid-stroke. Because her mama taught her that when grown-ups do sneaky things in the dark, someone always gets hurt. And in 11 hours, the man those folders belong to, the Korean billionaire who remembers her name, is going to sign away everything he built. Unless she finds the courage to tell him what she saw. But courage is hard when you're 6. And invisible. And one wrong word could send you and your mama back to the place you ran from. She's 6 years old and she doesn't know what betrayal means yet. But she's about to learn. Cynthia sits on the cold marble floor outside the glass office, her coloring book open to a page of butterflies. Purple crayon in her small hand. Her mama is inside, on her knees, scrubbing a stain that probably costs more than their rent. It's almost midnight in Seoul. The city lights blink far below like they're trying to tell her something. She watches the two men through the gap in the door. One is Mr. Kang's lawyer. The one who always smells like cigarettes and never looks at her mama. The other man she's never seen before. Expensive watch. Gray hair. Cold eyes. They're standing at the glass table. Two blue folders between them. Identical. Gold letters catching the light. The gray-haired man picks them both up. Looks at them. His lips move but she can't hear the words. Then he puts them back down. But they're not in the same places anymore. Left is now right. Right is now right. Cynthia doesn't understand contracts or fraud or billion-dollar mergers. But she knows a magic trick when she sees one. And she knows the difference between good magic and bad magic. This is bad magic. The kind that makes her stomach hurt. The gray-haired man takes one folder and slides it into his briefcase. Click. The lawyer takes the other and places it on Mr. Kang's desk where the important papers go. They shake hands. They leave. Her mama comes out of the office carrying her bucket and rags. Her knees are wet. She's 41 but looks 50. That's what 12-hour shifts and Seoul winters do to black women cleaning buildings they'll never own. Come on, baby. Time to go home. Cynthia closes her coloring book. The purple butterfly will have to wait. But something is wrong. She can feel it in her chest. Heavy. Like when she knows she did something bad but hasn't been caught yet. Only this time, she didn't do anything. The bad men did. 3 days pass. Cynthia doesn't forget about the folders. She thinks about them while her mama braids her hair. While she eats her cereal. While she watches the cars go by on their way to the subway. Her mama notices. What's wrong, baby? Nothing, mama. Don't lie to me now. Cynthia looks down at her hands. Small fingers. Clean fingernails because mama scrubs them every night even when she's tired. I saw something. Saw what? The men. In Mr. Kang's office. They did something sneaky. Her mama stops mid-braid. What men? The one with the cigarette smell. And another man. They switched the folders. What folders? The blue ones. With gold. They looked the same but they switched them. Her mama's hands drop from her hair. She comes around and kneels in front of Cynthia. Eye to eye. Mama's face is serious now. The kind of serious that means this is important. Baby, you sure about what you saw? Yes, mama. You sure? Not just playing pretend? I'm sure. Her mama sits back on her heels. Stares at nothing. Then she looks at Cynthia again. We're not gonna say nothing about this. You understand? But mama. No buts. We don't get involved in rich people business. That's how we stay safe. That's how we keep this job. But what if? Cynthia Marie, I said no. Her mama never uses her middle name unless it's serious. So Cynthia goes quiet. But the heaviness in her chest doesn't go away. Mr. Kong is 54 years old and he built his company from nothing. Hansu Industries. Real estate. Construction. Import-export. 17,000 employees. Worth $3.2 billion US. He sits in his office every morning at 6 a.m. and drinks his coffee black. No sugar. No milk. Just the bitterness and the caffeine and the weight of being responsible for 17,000 families. His daughter lives in New York. She's 26. Engaged to a banker. She calls him every Sunday and asks how he's doing and he always says fine even when he's not. His wife died 9 years ago. Cancer. Fast. 3 months from diagnosis to funeral. He hasn't dated since. Work is easier than grief. This morning, he opens the blue folder on his desk. The one marked urgent. The merger with Samjean Corporation. 18 months of negotiations. Due diligence. Legal reviews. This is the final contract. Sign it today and the deal closes. Hansu Industries expands into Southeast Asia. Market dominance. Legacy secured. He reads page 1. Boilerplate language. Standard clauses. Page 5. Ownership structure. His 70%. Samjean's 30. Page 12. Profit distribution. Quarterly reviews. Page 17. He stops. Reads it again. This isn't right. The equity split. It says Samjean retains 70%. Hansu gets 30. That's backwards. He flips back to page 5. Checks the summary. It says 70-30 in his favor. But page 17 says the opposite. His pulse quickens. He picks up his phone. Dials his lawyer. Kim Jae-woo. 6 years with the firm. Trustworthy. Careful. Never made a mistake like this. Jae-woo. I need you in my office. Now. Is everything. Now. He hangs up. Stares at the contract. Something is wrong. 17,000 families depending on him making the right decision. And this contract is trying to take everything. Jae-woo arrives 12 minutes later. Tie perfectly knotted. Hair slicked back. Calm face. But his hands are in his pockets and he's standing too straight. Sir. Explain this. Kong slides the contract across the desk. Jae-woo picks it up. Reads. His face doesn't change. There must be a clerical error. I'll have it corrected immediately. A clerical error? On the most important deal of my career? Sir, I assure you. Did you review this contract before putting it on my desk? Of course. Then how did this happen? Jae-woo's jaw tightens. Just for a second. But Kong sees it. I don't know. But I'll find out. You have 2 hours. I need the correct version before the signing. Yes, sir. Jae-woo leaves. Kong sits back in his chair. The city spreads out below him. Millions of people. Millions of lives. All of them trying to survive. Trying to win. He built this company with his own hands. Borrowed money from loan sharks when the banks wouldn't help. Worked 18-hour days. Slept in his office. Missed his daughter's childhood. And someone is trying to take it. He just doesn't know who yet. Cynthia's mama works nights. 3 shifts a week at Housekeeper'S Tower. The rest of the week she cleans 2 other buildings and takes care of an old Korean woman who pays her under the table. They came to Seoul from Atlanta 5 years ago. Cynthia's father was in the military. Stationed at Camp Humphreys. Then he wasn't. Dishonorable discharge. Details her mama won't talk about. He went back to the States. Left them with nothing. No plane tickets home. No money. Just gone. Her mama had 2 choices. Go back to Atlanta with no job and no place to live. Or stay in Korea and figure it out. She stayed. Now they live in Sillim-dong. Small apartment. 1 bedroom. Cynthia sleeps on a mattress on the floor. Her mama sleeps on the couch. No hot water in the mornings. They boil water on the stove for baths. The neighbors are mostly other immigrants. Filipino. Vietnamese. A few from Nepal. They all work the jobs Koreans don't want. Cleaning. Construction. Factory lines. Cynthia goes to a public school where the other kids stare at her because she's black and doesn't speak Korean perfectly. Some of them are nice. Most just ignore her. A few are mean. She's learned to be invisible. It's safer that way. But tonight, lying on her mattress, she can't sleep. The folders keep appearing in her mind. Blue leather. Gold letters. The switch. Her mama said don't get involved. But Mr. Kong has always been kind. He remembers her name. He gave her crayons once. Good ones. The expensive kind from the art store. And those men tricked him. She knows it. Even if she's only 6. She climbs off her mattress. Goes to the couch where her mama is sleeping. Shakes her shoulder gently. Mama. Baby, it's late. I need to tell Mr. Kong. Her mama sits up. Rubs her eyes. We already talked about this. But mama, they did something bad. I know they did. Cynthia. What if he gets hurt? He's a billionaire, baby. He'll be fine. But what if he's not? Her mama looks at her for a long time. The streetlight outside comes through the thin curtain and makes shadows on her face. Why do you care so much? Cynthia thinks about it. Because he's nice. And nobody should trick nice people. Her mama closes her eyes. Sighs. Opens them again. If we do this, we might lose everything. You understand that? Yes, mama. He might not believe you. He might think we're lying. Trying to cause trouble. I know. And if we lose this job, we might have to go back to Atlanta. Back to your grandma's basement. No school. No nothing. Cynthia's chest tightens. She doesn't remember Atlanta much. Just the smell of her grandma's cigarettes and the sound of fighting through the walls. Her mama left for a reason. But the heaviness in her chest is still there. I still need to tell him. Her mama looks at her. Really looks at her. Like she's seeing something she didn't see before. Okay, baby. Okay. We'll tell him tomorrow. If you're listening to this and you've ever been the person nobody believes, stay with me. Because this story is about to prove that sometimes the smallest voice is the only one telling the truth. The next morning, they take the subway to Gangnam. It's crowded. Bodies pressed together. The smell of coffee and perfume and sweat. Cynthia holds her mama's hand tight. They arrive at Housekeeper'S Tower at 8 a.m. The lobby is all marble and glass. Security guards in suits. Business people walking fast with their phones and briefcases. Cynthia and her mama are the only black people here. The security guard at the front desk looks up. His face neutral. Not friendly. Not mean. Just blank. Can I help you? We need to see Mr. Kong, her mama says. Do you have an appointment? No, but it's urgent. I'm sorry, but Mr. Kong doesn't see anyone without an appointment. Please. My daughter saw something. Something important. The guard looks at Cynthia. Then back at her mama. Ma'am, I can't let you up without an appointment. Just call him. Tell him Naomi from the cleaning crew needs to speak with him. Please. The guard hesitates. Then picks up the phone. Dials. Waits. Sir, I have Naomi from the cleaning staff downstairs. She says her daughter saw something important. Yes, sir. Okay. He hangs up. Take the elevator to the 63rd floor. He'll see you. The elevator ride feels like forever. Cynthia watches the numbers climb. Her stomach does the thing it does when you go too fast. Her mama's hand is sweating. When the doors open, they step into the hallway. The same hallway where Cynthia sat 3 nights ago with her coloring book. Mr. Kang's office door is open. He's standing by the window, looking out at the city. When he turns around, his face is tired. Naomi. Mr. Kong, I'm so sorry to bother you. Your daughter saw something? Yes, sir. She saw something the other night. When I was cleaning your office. He looks at Cynthia. Kneels down so he's at her eye level. His eyes are kind but serious. Hello, Cynthia. Hi, Mr. Kong. What did you see? Cynthia glances at her mama. Her mama nods. I saw 2 men in your office. 3 nights ago. They had folders. Blue ones with gold letters. What did they do? They switched them. Mr. Kong goes very still. What do you mean switched? They picked up both folders. Looked at them. Then put them back down. But not in the same places. They switched which one was which. Are you sure? Yes, sir. I saw it. Then what happened? The man with gray hair took one folder and put it in his bag. The other man put the other folder on your desk. Where you keep the important papers. Mr. Kong stands up slowly. His face has changed. The tiredness is gone. Now he looks sharp. Focused. What time was this? Late. After my mama's show. Maybe 11? He looks at Naomi. You saw this too? No, sir. I was in the back office. But Cynthia, she doesn't lie. Which man put the folder on my desk? Cynthia thinks. The one who smells like cigarettes. The one who comes here a lot. Mr. Kang's jaw tightens. Jae-woo. I don't know his name. But he was wearing a dark suit. And he looked scared. And the other man? The one with gray hair? I never saw him before. Mr. Kong walks to his desk. Sits down. Stares at the blue folder still sitting in his inbox. Cynthia, this is very important. Did they say anything? Did you hear any words? She tries to remember. The gray-hair man said something about, nobody will know. And the other man asked what if someone sees. And the gray-hair man said nobody sees because it's late and only the cleaning lady is here. Her mama's face hardens at that. Cleaning lady. Like she's not even human. Mr. Kong picks up his phone. Dials. Jae-woo. My office. 5 minutes. Don't bring anything. He hangs up. Looks at Naomi and Cynthia. I need you both to stay. In the conference room. I need Cynthia to identify the man she saw. Mr. Kong, I don't want to get my daughter involved in. Naomi, if what she's telling me is true, someone is trying to steal my company. And your daughter might be the only witness I have. But she's 6. I know. But she saw something. And I need to know if she's right. Naomi looks at Cynthia. Then back at Mr. Kong. If anything happens to her. Nothing will happen to her. I promise. They wait in the conference room. Glass walls. Leather chairs. A view of Seoul that makes Cynthia feel like she's floating. Her mama holds her hand. Neither of them speaks. 7 minutes later, the door to Mr. Kang's office opens. A man walks in. Dark suit. Hair slicked back. And yes, the smell of cigarettes. Cynthia squeezes her mama's hand. That's him, she whispers. Through the glass wall, they watch. Mr. Kong is standing. Jae-woo is sitting. They're talking but Cynthia can't hear the words. Then Mr. Kong points at the blue folder. Jae-woo's face doesn't change but his hands do. They curl into fists. Mr. Kong picks up his phone. Dials. Talks. Hangs up. 2 minutes later, the elevator opens. Men in suits. Not business suits. Police. Jae-woo stands up fast. Says something. Mr. Kong says something back. Points at the conference room. Jae-woo turns and looks. He sees Cynthia. His face drains of color. One of the police officers comes to the conference room. He's older. Tired eyes. Kind face. Hello. My name is Detective Park. I need to ask the little girl some questions. Her mama stands up. She's 6 years old. I understand. But she's a witness to a potential crime. I'll be gentle. He sits down across from Cynthia. Takes out a notepad. Can you tell me what you saw 3 nights ago? So Cynthia tells the story again. The 2 men. The folders. The switch. Detective Park writes everything down. Then he shows her a photograph. Is this one of the men you saw? It's Jae-woo. Younger in the photo. But same face. Yes. That's him. And the other man? Can you describe him? Gray hair. Expensive watch. Cold eyes. Cold eyes? Like he didn't care about people. Detective Park looks at her for a moment. Then nods. You're very observant. My mama says I notice things. Your mama is right. He stands up. We're going to need you both to come to the station. Give an official statement. Is that okay? Naomi hesitates. Are we in trouble? No. Your daughter might have just stopped one of the biggest corporate frauds in Korean history. They spend 4 hours at the police station. Cynthia tells the story 3 more times. To different people. Lawyers. Prosecutors. A woman who draws pictures based on her description of the gray-haired man. Her mama sits beside her the whole time. Finally, Detective Park comes back. We found him. The man with gray hair. His name is Park Min-jun. He works for Samjean Corporation. He's a corporate negotiator. Known for aggressive tactics. Did he confess? Naomi asks. Not yet. But we have security footage from the building. The elevator. The hallway. It shows both men entering Mr. Kang's office at 10:47 p.m. Leaving at 11:03. The timestamps match your daughter's statement. So what happens now? We're building a case. Corporate fraud. Conspiracy. Forgery. If we can prove they switched the contracts with intent to defraud, they're both looking at serious prison time. Cynthia doesn't understand most of those words. But she understands prison. They're bad men, she says quietly. Detective Park kneels down. Yes. They are. But you stopped them. You know that? I just told what I saw. That's all it takes sometimes. Telling the truth. 2 weeks pass. The story hits the news. Not the full story. Just the outline. Attempted corporate fraud. Insider betrayal. Merger halted. Investigation ongoing. Cynthia's name isn't mentioned. She's a minor. Protected by law. But people know. At school, some of the kids ask questions. Did your mom really work for a billionaire? Did you really see bad guys? Are you famous? She doesn't answer. Her mama told her not to talk about it. But the heaviness in her chest is gone. She did the right thing. She knows it. One afternoon, Mr. Kong comes to their apartment. It's the first time he's ever been to Sillim-dong. His driver waits outside. Security too. The neighbors stare from their windows. Her mama opens the door. Surprised. Nervous. Mr. Kong. I wasn't expecting you. May I come in? She steps aside. He enters. Looks around. The tiny space. The worn couch. The hot plate. Cynthia's mattress on the floor. His face doesn't show pity. Just understanding. I wanted to thank you both. In person. You already thanked us. Not enough. He sits down on the couch. Gestures for them to sit. They do. He looks at Cynthia. Do you know what you saved? Your company? More than that. 17,000 jobs. 17,000 families. Pensions. Futures. Lives. I just told the truth. I know. And that's why I'm here. He reaches into his jacket. Pulls out an envelope. Hands it to Naomi. What is this? Open it. She does. Inside is a check. 6 zeros. Her hands start shaking. Mr. Kong, I can't. You can. You will. That's not charity. That's a reward. For your daughter's bravery. And for raising her to know right from wrong. Tears run down Naomi's face. This is more money than I'll make in 10 years. I know. Use it well. He pulls out another envelope. This one he hands to Cynthia. This is for you. She opens it. It's a letter. Official looking. With a school logo. What is it? A scholarship. Full tuition to Seoul International Academy. From kindergarten through 12th grade. Everything paid for. Books. Uniforms. Lunch. After-school programs. Everything. Cynthia looks at her mama. Her mama is crying harder now. We can't accept this, Naomi manages to say. Yes, you can. Because your daughter saved my life's work. And I'm going to make sure she never has to worry about her future. He stands up. Looks around the small apartment again. One more thing. I'm buying this building. Renovating it. You'll have a new apartment. 3 bedrooms. Full kitchen. Heat that actually works. Rent-free for as long as you need. Why are you doing this? Because 6-year-old girls shouldn't have to sleep on the floor. And mothers who teach their children to tell the truth shouldn't have to work 3 jobs just to survive. He walks to the door. Stops. Turns back. The world is cruel to people like you. I know that. I came from nothing too. I know what it's like to be invisible. To be looked through. He looks at Cynthia. But you're not invisible anymore. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows that the person who saved Hansu Industries was a 6-year-old black girl who was doing her homework in a hallway. Will that make things harder for her? Naomi asks. Maybe. But it will also make things better. Because people need to know that heroes don't always look like what they expect. He leaves. Naomi and Cynthia sit in silence. Then her mama pulls her close. Holds her. Cries into her hair. You did good, baby. You did so good. But the story doesn't end there. Because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it takes time. Jae-woo and Park Min-joon are arrested. The evidence is overwhelming. Security footage. The forged contract. Digital trails showing encrypted communications between them. Financial records showing a $2 million payment from Sam-jin to Park. And a promised payout of $5 million to Jae-woo once the merger closed. They thought they were careful. They weren't careful enough. The trial lasts 6 months. Cynthia doesn't have to testify. She's too young. But her statement is read in court. Every word. The defense tries to discredit her. Says she's too young to remember accurately. Too young to understand what she saw. That her mother coached her. But the security footage doesn't lie. Neither does the forensic analysis of the documents. Jae-woo gets 8 years. Park Min-joon gets 10. Sam-jin Corporation is fined $400 million and banned from doing business in South Korea for 5 years. The CEO resigns in disgrace. 3 board members are fired. The company nearly collapses. And all because a 6-year-old girl was paying attention. Cynthia is 8 now. She goes to Seoul International Academy. The campus is beautiful. Trees and gardens and buildings that look like museums. The other kids are rich. Diplomats' children. CEOs' children. Old money. Some of them are kind. Some of them aren't. But she's not invisible here. Everyone knows her story. The girl who saved the billionaire. She doesn't like the attention. But her mama says it's the price of doing the right thing. People will always talk. Let them talk. You know what you did. That's all that matters. She's in 3rd grade now. Top of her class. She wants to be a lawyer when she grows up. So I can help people like Mr. Kong helped us, she tells her mama. Her mama smiles. You already help people, baby. Just by being you. Mr. Kong visits sometimes. Not often. Maybe once every few months. He brings books. Art supplies. Sometimes just conversation. He tells her about his daughter in New York. She's married now. Pregnant. He's going to be a grandfather. I'm going to tell my grandchild about you someday, he says. Why? Because you taught me something important. What's that? That the people we overlook are often the people who save us. For years after the trial, Jae-woo is released early for good behavior. He's 52 now. Gray hair. Thinner. The prison years took something from him. He can't practice law anymore. Disbarred. No company will hire him. His name is poison. He works at a convenience store in Incheon. Night shifts. Stocking shelves. Cleaning floors. One night, a woman comes in with a little girl. The woman is black. The girl is maybe 10. She's buying snacks. Chips and soda. The woman pays. They leave. Jae-woo watches them go. He wonders if that was her. The girl who destroyed his life. He'll never know. But he thinks about her every single day. The 6-year-old who was braver than he ever was. Park Min-joon doesn't get released early. He serves every day of his 10 years. When he gets out, he's 63. Too old to start over. Too broken to try. He moves in with his sister in Busan. She doesn't want him there, but family is family. He spends his days sitting by the water. Watching the ships. Thinking about the folder. The switch. How perfect it should have been. But perfection is a lie. There's always someone watching. Even if she's only 6 years old. Cynthia is 16 now. She still lives in Seoul. Still goes to Seoul International Academy. Top of her class. Student body president. Debate team captain. She got into Harvard early admission. Full scholarship. Mr. Kong cried when she told him. Her mama cried too. She's going to study law. Then come back to Korea. Work for people who can't afford lawyers. Fight for people who nobody sees. Just like you fought for me, Mr. Kong says. I didn't fight. I just told the truth. That's the same thing. She thinks about that night. The hallway. The purple crayon. The folders. How one choice changed everything. Her mama was right. When you see something wrong, you have two options. Stay quiet. Or speak up. Staying quiet is easier. Speaking up is dangerous. But sometimes, the dangerous choice is the only choice. If you're still listening, I want you to remember something. The world will tell you that you're too small to matter. Too young. Too poor. Too different. The world is wrong. Because every single massive change in history started with one person who decided to tell the truth when everyone else stayed silent. Cynthia was 6 years old. She couldn't vote. Couldn't drive. Could barely reach the elevator button. But she saw something wrong and she didn't look away. That's all it takes. Seeing. And refusing to unsee. So here's what I want you to do. If you're in a situation where you know something is wrong, and everyone around you is pretending it's fine. Don't pretend. If you see someone being hurt and everyone is looking the other way. Don't look away. If you know the truth and everyone wants you to lie. Tell it anyway. Because you're not too small. You're not too young. You're not too anything. You're exactly who you need to be. And the people who say otherwise? They're the ones who are scared. Because people who tell the truth are the most dangerous people in the world. They can't be bought. They can't be threatened. They can't be silenced. And that terrifies anyone who's built their power on lies. Cynthia graduates from Seoul International Academy with honors. The whole school comes to the ceremony. Mr. Kong sits in the front row next to her mama. When they call her name, everyone stands. She walks across the stage. Takes her diploma. Looks out at the crowd. Somewhere in this city, Jae-woo is stocking shelves. Park Min-joon is sitting by the ocean. The men who tried to steal everything. Brought down by a 6-year-old with a purple crayon. She thinks about them sometimes. Wonders if they think about her. Probably. She hopes they do. She hopes every time they look in the mirror, they see her face. The little girl who refused to stay quiet. Because that's what justice really is. Not revenge. Not punishment. Just the truth, finally being told. And the people who tried to hide it having to live with everyone knowing what they did. That's worse than prison. That's worse than losing money. Living with the knowledge that you got caught. That you weren't smart enough. That a child saw through your perfect plan. That's the real consequence. 20 years after that night in the hallway, Cynthia is a lawyer. She works for a non-profit in Seoul, defending immigrants, workers, people who get stepped on by the system. She wins most of her cases. Not because she's the smartest lawyer, but because she learned something important when she was 6 years old. The truth is more powerful than any lie. No matter how perfect the lie seems. No matter how many people believe it. The truth is still there. Waiting. Waiting for someone brave enough to say it out loud. She got a letter last year. From Jae-woo. He's 70 now. Still alive. Still working at that convenience store. The letter was short. I think about you every day. About what I did. About what you stopped. I want you to know I'm sorry. I know it doesn't matter. But I needed to say it. She read it twice. Then threw it away. Because she doesn't need his apology. She never did. She didn't tell the truth for him. She told it for herself. For her mama. For Mr. Kong. For the 17,000 people whose lives would have been destroyed. For everyone who's ever been invisible. Everyone who's ever been overlooked. Everyone who's ever been told they don't matter. She told the truth because staying quiet would have killed something inside her. And she wasn't willing to die just to make bad men comfortable. Her mama is 66 now. Retired. Healthy. Living in a house Mr. Kong helped her buy. They have dinner every Sunday. Her mama always asks the same question. Do you ever regret it? Telling? And Cynthia always gives the same answer. No, mama. Not even once. Even with everything that came after. The attention? The pressure? Even with all that. Why? Cynthia thinks about it. Because I'd rather live with the pressure of telling the truth than the weight of staying silent. Her mama smiles. You were always too smart for your own good. You taught me that. I taught you a lot of things. But being brave? Baby, that was all you. Mr. Kong is 81 now. He retired 10 years ago. His daughter runs Hansu Industries. His grandson works there too. The company is bigger than ever. The near disaster of the Samjean merger became company legend. How close they came to losing everything. How a child saved them. Mr. Kong wrote a book about it. The Girl in the Hallway, How Invisible People See Everything. It's a bestseller. All proceeds go to a scholarship fund. For children of immigrant workers. For kids who live in small apartments and sleep on mattresses on the floor. For the invisible ones. The fund has helped 3,000 kids so far. 3,000 futures changed. Because one 6-year-old refused to look away. Cynthia is 36 now. She never married. Too busy. She has a small apartment in Seoul. Books everywhere. Case files stacked on every surface. She works too much. Sleeps too little. But she's happy. Because every day, she helps someone who can't help themselves. Every day, she tells the truth when other people want to lie. Every day, she remembers that night. The purple crayon. The folders. The choice. And she knows she made the right one. Not because it was easy. But because it was necessary. The last time I checked, Jae-woo is still alive. Still working. Still carrying the weight of what he tried to do. Park Min-joon died 3 years ago. Heart attack. Quick. He was 75. No one came to his funeral except his sister. Samjean Corporation recovered eventually. New CEO. New board. Different name, even. Trying to escape the scandal. But people remember. The internet remembers. Google remembers. Type in Samgene Corporation and the first result is still the fraud case. 20 years later. That's the real punishment. Not prison. Not fines. Living with everyone knowing what you tried to do. Forever. I want to leave you with something. This story isn't about a billionaire who got saved. It's not even about corporate fraud or justice or revenge. It's about a 6-year-old girl who was sitting in a hallway, minding her business, coloring butterflies. And she saw something wrong. And instead of pretending she didn't see it, instead of convincing herself it wasn't her problem, instead of staying invisible the way the world wanted her to stay, she spoke up. That's the whole story. Everything else is just details. The money. The trial. The consequences. None of that matters as much as the choice. The moment when she decided that the truth was more important than safety. That doing right was more important than staying comfortable. That being brave was more important than being invisible. That moment is the only moment that matters. Because we all have that moment. Maybe not with folders and corporate fraud. Maybe it's smaller. A lie at work. A friend being mistreated. Someone cheating and everyone pretending not to notice. A system that's broken and everyone just accepting it. We all have that moment when we see something wrong and we have to decide. Do we stay quiet? Or do we speak? And here's the truth nobody tells you. Staying quiet is also a choice. Silence is not neutral. When you see wrong and you say nothing, you're choosing the side of the person doing wrong. That's just how it works. There's no middle ground. There's no, not my problem. If you see it, it's your problem. That's what Cynthia understood at 6 years old. That's what took Jae-woo and Park Min-joon 60 years to understand. By then it was too late. So here's my last question for you. What are you pretending not to see? What truth are you swallowing because speaking it would be inconvenient? What wrong are you accepting because fighting it would be hard? I'm not saying you have to fix everything. I'm not saying you have to be a hero. I'm just saying. If you see something wrong. If you know something's not right. If you have the truth and everyone wants you to hide it. Don't. Say it. Even if your voice shakes. Even if you're scared. Even if you're 6 years old in a hallway with a purple crayon. Say it anyway. Because the world doesn't change because of the people with power. It changes because of the people who tell the truth. And you might think you're too small to matter. But Cynthia was 6. And she saved 17,000 people. So no. You're not too small. You're exactly the right size. Now go be brave. If this story made you feel something, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Send it to the person who's struggling to find their voice. To the kid who's being overlooked. To the worker who's being exploited. To anyone who's been told they're too small to make a difference. Because they're not. And neither are you.